too big for my britches, too big for my fishes. The sea got shallower every day. I danced, I said my prayers, it never rained. And I just want to be in California, having lives 'cause they all tried to warn us. They sent me right back from where I came, my tail between my legs on Broadway. I'll be the biggest star at this fucking karaoke bar. No use shooting for the moon, no use chasing waterfalls. I'm the biggest star at this fucking karaoke bar. No use shooting for the moon, no use chasing waterfalls.
The doll people are not men, they are made of ice and glass. Our skin is clay and painted blue, our head can detach. We are statues with a pulse, we are art you can fuck. The doll people are quiet. What is there to say? Art does not interpret itself. There are men with a day to save. We are paintings with legs. We are art you can fuck. Drink the dolls like spread like buttery, your wife, whore, mistress, maid, mother, the beauty and the buyer. Take the screaming one because a woman who doesn't want it is much harder than one that does. Whore, mistress, maid, mother. Wife, whore, mistress, maid, mother. The doll people are alive, or so they say. You can never trust the art these days. To be admired takes precedence over admiring. To be desired takes importance over desiring. Drink the dolls like spread like buttery, your wife, whore, mistress, maid, mother, the beauty and the buyer. Take the screaming one because a woman who doesn't want it is much harder than one that does. Pain popping off of us like rockets, stuff straight out of a fantasy. The whistle stuck to our pockets. The beauty and the buyer. Take the screaming one because a woman who doesn't want it is much harder than one that the doll people are gone. They don't know what happened. They looked under our skirts one morning, but all they saw were maggots. They banged their head on the wall. They fucked the art on that afternoon. The dolls are off running and laughing together, swimming in the milk of the moon. Wife, whore, mistress, maid, mother. Wife, whore, mistress, maid, mother. Wife, whore, mistress, maid, mother.
Eyes are like the ocean, her nails are painted green. A cigarette in her mouth and she mouths, hey dear, how you been? Gray skies out the window, but she's a summer breeze. Come and set the tone, now dear, come sit down next to me. Susan, her hair hangs like curtains, her smile is warm like June. She blinks in slow motion, just like something in the Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes, you can't tell she's into you. She's a winding road that I've been running on down since I was 7 years old. I would love to hold you if I can. If you'd allow my left arm and my right arm to collide inside the small of your back, just like that. I need you, Susan. Sunset at the bar, you rest your left ear on my shoulder, and I wonder if that's just how you are. I whisper to the waiter, a glass of something strong, says I'm about to finally tell you how I've been feeling all along. I said, Suzanne, sounds like a line, but I swear you're the sweetest that I ever seen. I couldn't tell if you're into me, so I'ma say it out loud. I never said the things I should've said, I could've, then I guess I'm telling you now. Suzanne, I would love to hold you if I can. Suzanne, if you'd allow my left arm and my right arm to collide inside the small of your back, just like that. I need you, Suzanne. I need you. You look so good tonight. And I want tonight. And I need you tonight. And I need you. So things I never say, the things I should've said, I could've, then I guess I'm telling you now. I would love to hold you if I can. If you'd allow my left arm and my right arm to collide inside the small of your back, just like that. I need you, Suzanne. I would love to hold you if I can. You look so good tonight.
Oh, perfect timing.
Game.
All right. Hi.
Game start.
Hey, everybody. Hello.
Kissy face, sent to your phone, but I'm trying to kiss your lips for real. Red hearts, that's what I'm on, yeah. Come give me something I can feel. Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me like I
Loved you on the China streams. My first time here. Welcome in. Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? How is everybody this Sunday? You want to see what a mess? You want to see what a mess my hair is? Look at this shit. This is body segment. It's body segment time. Oh yeah, baby. Oh hell yeah. Yep.
Hey, so now you know the game. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm coming to get you.
It's so big because it's full of secrets.
I'm on my way.
Yeah. You looked great yesterday and Will's event was great. Thank you. No, I didn't. Okay, here's the crazy thing. I didn't even use hairspray. Caroline, please check out that silly song you made with Sear. I remixed it a lot and love doing your vocals. You're amazing. I'd love to see your opinion. Wait, where do I go find it? Okay, so back to the hair. I did not use hairspray. I got this dry shampoo in China because mine was an aerosol can and they took it when we were going from, I can't even remember. So I needed new dry shampoo, and yesterday I used it. And it's great because it gives your hair a lot of volume. But this morning I woke up and I was like, oh my God. Oh my dear God. So I didn't use a lick of hairspray. It's that Chinese dry shampoo. Okay, wait, let me switch to an EDM. Sorry. Let me put these back on. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's better. A little background. Yeah, so okay, I'm gonna put my hair back up because it looks crazy. Volume at what cost? Yeah, it's kind of like Ursula-esque. It's kind of Disney villain vibes. What dry shampoo is it? How is the music still? Hold on, I'll show you. Get it. Okay. You may need an account, but here's the link. Oh, this is the song. Shoot, I do need an account. Okay, it's called Basic Dry Shampoo. It's not spray. It's like, it's powder. Why does your mic sound extra nice? Am I stupid? I don't know. Does it usually sound like shit? Is the mic usually giving RFK Jr.? Also, who was it that like Speed Bonjan. I definitely want to check. I definitely want to check out the song. Is there any way I can hear it without having to make an account? Also, can we get some shouts outs for Sam looking so fine last night? Looking like a goddamn award herself. Still dressed like an award and still nobody took me home. I mean, I tried to, but you turned me down. You said no. Anyway, I hope you can sometimes. I had so much fun remixing it. I may be able to send via Discord if you're okay with that. Yeah, even if I don't get even if I don't get to it on stream, I'll listen. I'll listen to it, and I want to show Will too when he gets home. It's nice to see you and Sam together again. I know, considering we don't fuck with each other. It was a rare moment. When is Resident Evil 6? I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I know, Sam and I need to get back to gaming. She's been a little server, Minecraft server creating gremlin. She's been working her buns off on, I don't even know how to explain it because I don't understand it, but it's very impressive. She's been in the mines. Chuck, thank you for the 33 months. Graham, thank you for the 30 months. Graham, how we have to watch the, okay. All right. You guys, I just want to let you know off the bat. I'll give some brief thoughts. On Streamer Awards, but I want to get to film class and then I want to do gaming after. But one thing I have to watch is I Just Love Puzzles. I want to watch both her when she was sitting at her table and Fan came up and she talked about, you know, just being there, and it was so beautiful. That was the first time I cried. And then when she won, which is the second time I cried, I want to watch for sure those two moments. Cried like a baby. So Will, as some of you may know, Will was not there because he was doing Wubby's 24-hour tag, which is insane. What an event. But anyway, so he didn't have his phone for 24 hours. And finally, after it was done and he slept a little bit, the first thing that he did was watch Gma's speech, and he said he just wept. Just sobbed. And I honestly, here's what I will say, and I think this is probably a lot of people's take too. Somebody like Gma being there, winning, the wholesomeness, the good vibes, the love, the positivity. I wish that was what it all was. And I think that moment matters so much because truly that is what this is all about. It should be all about, you know? It's like, yeah, there's these jokers out here. Yeah, people causing issues, clip farmers, you know, the drama being the point. But Gma is a person who should be celebrated, who moments like that is what the focus should be on, because a lot of these clip farmers, like they are trying to create drama, you know? That's their whole thing. It's creating drama. It's generating clips. Fuck that noise. Fuck it. So, if there's a takeaway that I want to have from, I don't know, just everything overall, my takeaway is that somebody like Gma being there at the show, winning the award, getting to be on a stage in front of not just everybody at the show, but hundreds of thousands of viewers, is such a good representation of the platform and of what this can and should be all about. So that's what I'm choosing to focus on, you know? The ray of sunshine in a mess of darkness. Yeah. Anyway, so I definitely want to watch those two moments. You know, it's supposed to be a night of celebration. It's supposed to be fun. And okay. You know what's crazy is I'll probably cover this more in depth tomorrow because I'm just cooked. But Trump opened the Kennedy Center Honors last night. Or is this today? Maybe it's the news coming out today. Maybe it's today. Maybe it's tonight. And literally on stage, he goes, if there's one thread that connects all these amazing artists together, it's the word persistence. I can say that with a lot of members of our audience. I know so many of you. You are persistent. Many of you are miserable, horrible people. You are persistent. You never give up. Sometimes I wish you'd give up, but you don't. Now, fuck Donald Trump. But that's a sentiment that genuinely, I think Cutie is well within her right to express, because some of y'all, whether you're in the audience or you watched Streamer Awards at home, you are miserable, horrible people. You are persistent in that. You never give up. Sometimes I wish you'd give up, but you don't. Trump has good sound bites, bad context. It's always one of those like, man, I wish it wasn't him. I wish it wasn't him saying it. Hate to be like, damn. That's correct. But then when I find out who it is, I'm like, fuck you. I hate that Trump has those moments because he's genuinely such an evil man. I know. Anyway, okay, so I had a fun time. I was at a table with my homies. I was sitting there with Sam, with Peach, Sear, Christian, Austin, Hassan. Marsh was supposed to sit there, but then he got put at the table. He got put at the table next to us. I don't know what happened. And then Drag Trashly was there. It was a blast. We had a great table. And this is the funniest. This made me laugh so hard. Let me show you. This screenshot, I don't know where this came from. I don't know. After I'm like, oh my God, we had such a fun table. It was so fun. We had such great vibes. Loved everybody. And then it's just Austin shows sitting by himself. Very I See Dead People vibes. Very Haley Joel Osment. having a great Streamer Awards. Yeah. It's the sad Pablo meme. You know what? It's what he deserves. It's what he deserves for fucking with the seating. The stinky shirt. Wait, was it? Oh, Hassan said you shouldn't have busted out the stinky shirt. Peach goes, I was there the entire time. How did you get this pic? Because at one point we all went invisible. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was like the fourth vodka crayon. It just turned us all invisible. When they came around the camera and talked to Austin, he was literally covered by the Streamer Awards logo. I saw that. And then they moved on. It was so funny. Oh, that shit's hilarious. Yeah, he started singing Quando, 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 and then everybody evaporated. Quando, Quando. This picture set to a slowed down, very dramatic, sad version of Quando, Quando, Quando. Robert, thank you for the 23 months. Quando, 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 Quando. When will you be mine tonight? Quando, 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 Quando. sung by Lord. Trapcom, thank you for the 15 months. As a fan, or as far as Misrule goes, I didn't see much outright hate in Peanuts chat, but that was me. I'm not going to speak on that because somebody else wants to speak on it, and I'm going to wait until they speak on it. I am also only aware of it because I mean, you want me to speak on it real briefly, or you want me to speak on it? I'll speak on it. It was fucking bullshit how many disgusting comments were in that chat unmoderated. I'll speak on it. I thought it was gross. I'm sorry if you're somebody who's in that chat who's not that person and you're getting grouped into what was the overall vibe. It was too many people. It was too many chatters for it just to be that's, you know, there were a couple shitters. No, it was Burnt Peanuts chat. Burnt Peanut. The comments during the Sapphire Award, when Sam was presenting, it was bad. It's not acceptable. So if you're a good egg and you're in that chat, obviously this isn't to you, but it was an overwhelming amount of chatters. And it's just exhausting, you know? That ruins the vibes. It's gross. You gotta control that shit. I'm tired of the excuse of, oh, well, you know, no moderate. Okay, so then the streamer's got to do it. When it's not just a couple of people. Like if the overall vibe of the chat is gross, misogynistic, bigoted comments, then you got to do something about that, you know? There were moderators, they just don't do anything. Been watching him for 9 months, was truly a big fan, broke my little heart to see his chat when I was on stage. Yeah, and let me just say, like, this isn't me just addressing this problem because Sam is, you know, Sam's my girl, and I hate the fact that she had to see all those disgusting comments about her when she was presenting an award on stage. You know, this wasn't just Sam, it was during the Sapphire Award as well. I saw somebody on Twitter had posted screenshots of it. It was just it was an overwhelming amount of chat comments that were really disparaging as far as Sam goes, that were like sexually harassing comments. So very, very disappointing. I don't really know. I don't know him. I don't know his community. All I know is what I saw, and it's not a good impression. My anxiety was so crazy last night because of it. I felt bad. This was my first time tuning in. I was so excited. I wish all people would get along. Yeah, I mean, okay. So overall, again, I wanna keep the focus on like the positivity on the GMAs, you know, on the GMA win, on just, you know, great moments like that. But what I will say is, streamers, you have a responsibility here. This is a privilege. An award show is a privilege. Getting to be a part of it, whether you are attending, whether you are nominated, and the amount of disrespect that just every year seems to be this persistent problem. This is a real privilege. Not only this career, but something like an award show that is put on to celebrate the industry, to celebrate streaming and streamers. And some of y'all are acting like it's your God-given right. And it's not. And I just think the entitlement is getting out of control. I think the people using this as a way to generate noxious clips and content, right? It's like the way that the shift has been occurring with a lot of people constantly IRL streaming with the point of being obnoxious and getting clips out of it. Like, that's not what this is about. You know, go do that. If that's your thing, go do that somewhere else. Don't go do this at an award show that you've been invited to, that somebody else is putting on and spending a lot of money and a lot of time and energy. And I will just keep saying, like, this is a privilege, not a right, that you have to show up and behave like an asshole. Anyway, so the lack of respect, because the lack of respect is the point. Like, that's what I need. That's what I want people to understand, is like, this shit is, it's purposeful. It's intentional, you know, like trying to pull a Kanye moment, all those moments, that there's like, it's like the Twitter clip farmers, the streamers, they all work in tandem, right? It's a collective where the point is to create drama and get attention and overshadow everything else so that you can be in the spotlight in the way that you want to be. This ecosystem. Yeah. And it's just obnoxious and incredibly disrespectful. A lot of main character syndrome, a lot of egos. Where the thing is that this show's not about you. It's about everybody. It's about everybody. It's about celebrating the platform and all streamers, and not, you know, not just those at the top. It's not a battle of like the biggest streamers. It's all streamers. And that's why I keep coming back to Gma, you know? Anyway, I'm sure Cutie will go into detail talking about issues with like production and stuff, so I'm not going to speak on that, but I will say I really enjoyed the clip compilation, which is every year, which is always fun to just see tons and tons of clips with lots and lots and lots of streamers throughout the year. That's always one of my faves. I'm always so sad for the year review, for sure. Also, this is funny. Sam's here too, so she can attest to this, but I had to leave at the end because I had to go home deal with Farley. And so I was a little late to the after party. And when I came in, it was very loud, right? Music was very loud. But a lot of people, like, I would have been like, whatever. a lot of people mentioned the fact that it was loud. And I went, oh, well, let's just have the DJ turn it down a bit, because people wanted to chat, people at the after party, they wanted to chat. And so as I have done in the past, I was like, I'll do it. I'll not again. Oh, again. I'll go take care of it. Cause it wasn't me just walking and being like, oh, it's so loud. I talked to a group of people, and then I asked other people, I was like, do you think it's too loud? Because I Doug was like, I want to ask the DJ to turn it down, but I don't know. And it was so loud, it was like the speakers were breaking, type of volume. So I knew Cutie and her team were busy, and that's something that normally they would have taken care of, right? So I went over to the DJ and I just said, hi, I'm with Productions. I'm with Productions, and we've had a request to turn the music down. He was like, okay, got it. Turns it down a little bit. I go back. I swear to God, it gets turned right back up. So everyone, I'm like, okay, is it good? What do you think? And everyone's like, it's still too loud. So I go, okay. I go over again. I'm like, hi, it's me again from production. I heard over the radio, volume is still too loud, so need it to be turned down again. Thank you very much. He's like, okay. Well, guess what? I have to end up doing it a third time. After the third time, I walk away, and one of the DJ's lackeys, I don't know what word to use. He comes over to me and he goes, who are you? And I go, I'm CarolineKwan from Cutie Cinderella Productions. Can I help you? He's like, yeah, because you've come over 3 times and we've had other people come over, but we can't just listen to everybody. We can't just have people come over and then do whatever they're asking us to do. So I think what that had meant was that other people had asked him to turn it down, but they wouldn't. But because I pulled the, I'm from Productions, I can't listen to everyone saying the same thing. And he just goes, okay, well, we need verification. And I was like, oh, I go, you need verification? Great. Well, if I have to bring Cutie over, it's not going to be good. Especially because Cutie was so busy. She was doing a million things. She was still filming. She was doing the outro for the awards, filming content. She had a lot going on. And and he was like, I need verification. I was like, okay, I will, I'll bring someone over. And then I think he got a little stressed and then went, oh, no, I believe you. It's fine. And I went, okay, thanks. Well, I don't want to have to come over a 4th time and ask again. So please don't turn it back up. CarolineKwan from management. He was trying to call my bluff. He was, and he was like, okay, well, I just don't know if you're with the event. I was like, I'm with the event. I'm CarolineKwan from event. And I couldn't stop laughing because as I'm dealing with this, at that point, there were only a couple people on the dance floor because most other people, they were at the bar, they were engaged in conversation. And the DJ gets on the mic and he was doing the put your hands together as he's playing Pitbull. And he's like, oh, but everybody having a great night. And there's 2 Minecrafters on the dance floor. And then he starts hitting them with the smoke, or with the, not smoke. Yeah. The fog, when it's super loud and just blasting people in the face. I just need you to visualize it. No, it's not Minecraft slander. No, it's not Minecraft slander. It's just the visual of 2 people on the dance floor, and the music was really loud, and the DJ's on the fucking mic, as if he's talking to a crowd of 10,000 and then hitting them with the smoke. Hitting them with the smoke. That shit kills me. It's fucking funny. Put your hands together for DJ James Kennedy. Will Neff. DJ Will Neff. My favorite DJ. You guys, round of applause for Will Neff, who made it through 24 hours in a gymnasium of tag. But not just tag, also various torturous methods. Things designed to fuck with the contestants. One of his highlights, let's see, let's take a look. If you missed it, Les, if you missed it, here's...
Oh, I see.
Am I eating the...
Wait, I haven't even seen this. Hold on a second. Okay, this is my first time seeing. If anybody has seen this, this is my first time seeing. I literally tuned in at this moment, was like, what is happening?
Wash their feet first.
What is happening?
He just.
I know. My girl.
He's going.
I
He's
would've-
going
I
back
would've
for seconds. That man is rampant.
He's got hair. He's hungry.
I'm sorry. This is fucking vile. Y'all know how I feel about feet, okay? I hate feet, if you don't know. I hate feet. And things on feet, this is my nightmare.
Did you?
Oh my God.
It's like a Tarantino film. I think
Did you win the game?
I don't. They're not deep.
Yo, Quentin Tarantino, if he sees this clip, if he's not too busy going on a rampage against Paul Dano, if he sees this clip, he's going to be like, this is what I want. Why does everybody give me so much shit? This is incredible. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, don't look at us. Keep cleaning it.
Will, there's
Oh,
strawberries and
God,
stuff you could
Will.
use.
Wait, wow. Oh.
No, there's not, apparently.
Utilize
Will.
the strawberry. That's the buzzer, right?
Does he have to stop or can he keep going?
Does he have to stop or can he keep going? That is disgusting. I'm going to keep it a buck. That's one of those, you know what? I watch it one time. I don't need to see it again. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it has nothing to do with the fact that it's my own boyfriend. It's the fact that I hate feet and I hate feet things and I hate things on feet. Fucking vile. Where's the VOD for this, you know, so I can fully avoid watching it? Pay money, Webby. Now's a good time to watch Gmos win. Hell yeah, let's watch Gmos win. Did you see Quentin Tarantino also talk shit about Matthew Lillard? I'm sorry, but the concept of Quentin Tarantino even talking shit. This motherfucker never shuts the fuck up. Matthew Lillard said he was kind of hurt. That also makes me so mad because Matthew Lillard is an angel. He is so kind. He is also very talented. What the fuck? He's incredibly talented, but also a gem. A gem. He responded to it. See, here's the thing. When we were talking about Paul Dano, I went, Paul Dano... Somebody might show Paul Dano a tweet that says like Paul Dano has they them shooters, and he'll have no idea what that even means. Like, I just love the idea too that Paul Dano has no idea what the hell is going on as the internet is exploding exploding in rage, coming to the defense of Paul. And he's probably off listening to like a jazz record from the 40s, or, you know, reading a book about new wave French film. Like he's not on Reddit. He's not on Twitter. All right, wait, let me see Matthew Lillard's response. This is going to break my heart. Ugh.
Whatever, who gives a shit? Listen. Quentin Tarantino this week said he didn't like me as an actor. Whatever, who gives a shit? Listen. The point is that it hurts your feelings. It fucking sucks. And he wouldn't say that to Tom Cruise. He wouldn't say that to somebody who's a top
Get his
line actor
ass.
in Hollywood. I'm very popular in this room. I am not very popular in Hollywood. Two totally different microcosms, right? And so,
And you know what? He should be.
you know, it's humbling, and it hurts.
Ugh.
So,
Ugh.
thank you.
You know what? Matthew Lillard is basically saying, I'm a human being, and as much as I know the limits of my success in Hollywood, and I'm not an A-list actor, and I wish what Quentin said didn't bother me. Like, I'm a human and it does bother me. But Matthew Lillard, we are here to tell you, I promise you, nobody ever has said Quentin Tarantino is a great person. Separating him, like, yes, Quentin Tarantino has made great films. Nobody has ever spoken on that man and said that's a great human being. Unlike Matthew Lillard, who not only is talented, will forever be in our hearts in the great roles that he has played, that has meant so much to so many of us, but he is also a great human being. And that is something that people say about him all the time. How he is when he goes to like horror fan fests and takes the time to like speak genuinely with everyone who shows up to take photos and meet and greet. And he's a gem. And yeah, he may never be, he may not be a Tom Cruise. He may not be a major A-list actor, but he is a fucking awesome dude. He's an awesome dude. And he's got a lot of people who will go to bat for him. Cutie greater than QT. Quentin Tarantino is QT. He's also, you want to know the thing too? Here, I'm going to say it. Quentin Tarantino is a bitter ass bitch because as an actor, he sucks. And he's such an egomaniac that he puts himself, always has to have a role for himself. And I think his bitterness too is coming from the fact that he ain't it as an actor. He ain't it. The concept of calling not just Paul Dano, but also Matthew Lillard shit actors, when it's like, bitch, we've all seen you because you put yourself in your movies. You want to talk about bad actors? We can talk on it. Yeah, he was also hating on Owen Wilson. He's crashing out. Quentin Tarantino is creatively stunted. He's crashing out. People have finally, I think, had enough of him. I think the kind of cult of personality around him, the Quentin Tarantino mythos, I think it's all fallen apart. Okay, anyway, that's the Quentin Tarantino segment. We're not here to talk about Quentin Tarantino, although we do talk about him now for the last 5 streams in a row. Let's watch Gma. Let's watch Gma. Where is that link? Sky, will you relink that for me, please? Please and thank you. He said Black Hawk Down is the greatest movie of the 21st century. And I think that should show you the type of mentality that Quentin Tarantino has. And as far as loving, like, he's kind of similar to Donald Trump in that he loves macho, tough men. And I think it's because he pictures himself as one. All right, I have to watch this Gma thing or I'm just going to keep ranting about Quentin Tarantino. But anyway, I think that he and Trump share that in common. Kitty Tiger, thank you for the tier 1. Hey, Dell, thank you for the 11 months. Rain, thank you for the 13 months. Said Tweed Run, thank you for the tier 1. Deanie, thank you for the bits. Metaphor, thank you for the 6 months. Lungium, thank you for the 3 months. Luffy, thank you for the 13 months. Deanie, thank you for another gifted. Eon, thank you for the 35 months. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, y'all. One Indie, thank you for the 36 months. Critical Librarian, thank you for the tier 1. Deanie, thank you for the bits. Starkid Musical, thank you for the 9 months. Anon, thank you for the gifted. Trap, thank you. Okay, I'm all caught up. Okay. I also love that it was Christian who presented this award. I just think this entire moment from Christian presenting to Gma winning, my fave moment of the night, absolute fave moment of the night. And I'm really glad to see a lot of people who have commented on this, posted about this, like big streamers who are making sure to bring attention to this moment, because I don't want all the nasty, obnoxious shit to overshadow the wonderful moments like this. She was so nervous and felt out of her element, but everyone showing her love made her feel so at home. Truly, Gma has so many people out there now who will go to bat for her if, God forbid, somebody wants to fuck with Gma. And I think because of people being sick and tired of the of the clip farmers and just these noxious assholes, I think a lot of people are really I think they just they see something like this and go, hey, wait a sec. Let's have more of this. Wait, this is wonderful. Wait, this makes me not just feel depressed and negative towards the way that the industry has shifted and who's who seems to just always be generating attention, and attention that's bad. Miserable chatters felt their heart grow. And just like the Grinch, people's hearts grew 3 times their size. It's nice to have a moment of non-edginess that was prevalent throughout the rest of the night. For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary baddies, I'm so excited to be presenting the Hidden Gem Award this evening. Yes? Girl, I almost did a split, but these pants are YSL, not too much. I think Cutie picked me to present this award because she's aware of my extensive history of hiding in the closet, but honestly, under those parameters, I don't know why she chose me, right? Like, so many streamers came out this year. Austin Show, for example, Prezzo, evidently Arky, so lots of potential gay people she could have picked, but nonetheless, I'm so excited to be a part of something highlighting creators on this platform who, regardless of size, are committed to creating excellent content.
That's my fucking baby right there. That is my son.
Fostering vibrant communities on Twitch. And here are your nominees for the Hidden Gem Award.
Let's just take a moment. Let's just take a moment. That's how you do it. I have no idea what the joke meant, but I'm laughing anyway in support for my boy. Honestly, Christian alone one of the highlights of the night. Next time people ask if you and Will are having kids, just say you already have a son and point to Christian. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I have a 24-year-old son, actually. He's right here. He's everything I wanted and more. Well, obviously Farley too. I have 2 gay children. One of them is sunshine and rainbows, and one of them is very grumpy. One of them is a bit of a menace. But you know what happened? So, I forgot to tell them about my dress fiasco, which I'll talk about after that.
Brooks. Drag Trashly.
Also, I just want to shout out Drag Trashly. If you don't know Drag Trashly, know Drag Trashly. Drag Trashly looked incredible. One of my favorite looks of the night. She is a diva. She's very funny. One of the one of our great drag queens on Twitch. And if it wasn't Gma, I would have wanted it to be Drag Trashly. And I will say at our table, because I was at a table with drag, she was like, if it wasn't going to be me, I wanted it to be Gma. I wanted it to be Gma. She was getting so much bigot hate in the pre-show. Enough! Oh my God. As I have said before, these nasty ass bitches out there, these little worms, could never. You don't understand talent. You don't understand camp. You don't understand real ass performers, entertainers. You could never. And it makes you uncomfortable because you are so small. Your mind, your world is so small. It's so limited. And that's why you couldn't even begin to understand or appreciate somebody like Trashly or the trio of incredible drag queens on the red carpet who are also one of the best parts of the show. I don't get it. Ew. I'm a person who, when I don't understand something because my brain is this big, I go, ew, gross. You are embarrassing. I need you to know, if you are somebody who, I'm sorry, where the fuck have you been? It's 2025. It's 2025. You see, is this your first drag queen that you've seen? You're like, ugh. Oh, I've never seen anything like that before. Well, it's because you have a sad, pathetic life. If a drag queen is just rocks your world in this way, you just simply can't comprehend. That's on you. That's a reflection of how limited, of how minuscule your life is. I love it when a drag queen rocks my world. Yeah. Yeah, you're boring. You're boring. You're small. You're a small, boring person. Anyway.
I just love puzzles. Moo Hoodles.
Can I say too, I know I keep pausing before we get to the big moment. This is one of my favorite categories because the hidden gem streamers, whether they are nominees or people who qualified for an award like this, could be nominees. I love this category because on a platform like Twitch, it is so hard to get discovered. Discoverability is fucking ass. And there are so many talented streamers out there who just can't get discovered, don't get the recognition. And this is one opportunity to highlight a few great unseen streamers who just fly under the radar. And the other thing too is, who doesn't cause the problems? Who's not stirring up drama, either their communities or the streamers themselves? It's streamers in a category like this. You don't have them with these overinflated egos acting as if it's their God-given right to have the spotlight on them always, to win every award. I swear to God, I just need to remind some big streamers out there. I mean, just in general, for a lot of y'all, you are not a bigger streamer than people in this category because you're better, because you're just a better streamer. You're just more entertaining. No, there's a lot of other factors that have nothing to do with talent, with perseverance, with hard work that separates you from smaller streamers. Okay, so just to remind you, so you can remember this next time, that you having bigger numbers doesn't give you the right to act like a fucking asshole. And it also doesn't make you better than people who don't have as big of numbers as you. This bigger number, better person, No offense to the giant streamers, but as a viewer of the show, it's more fun to see all the excited faces that are passionate about streaming and being there. Yes, because the bigger streamers and their communities, they treat it like a right. Smaller streamers in their communities are so excited to be a part of it. It's just different attitudes, It's the one group having the ego and entitlement, and the other not causing the problems.
Cena.
Oh. And the streamer award.
Wait, what is happening with her camera? Hold on a second. What in the Matrix? Oh no. It's glitching out. Something happened with the feed? Oh man. That ain't even half the problems last night. I know. Schmengi, thank you for the resub. June, thank you for the resub. Dank, thank you for the gifted. William, thank you for the bits. Laura, thank you for the tier 1. Ofer, thank you for the resub. Kitty, thank you. Okay, as I said, I don't want to talk about production. I don't want to talk about production. Cutie will probably go over it in detail when she does her stream recap. So I'm not here to talk about production.
Goes to I Just Love Puzzles.
This is I Just Love Puzzles' first nomination and first win.
Also, if you don't know, that's John Choi's voice. The voice of God. Yeah, he did such a good job. Yeah, he should voice act. Crazy thought. Also, she looked incredible. And I think it was Lala, who was one of the contestants in the Progressive show, who's an amazing VTuber. I think Lala did her styling. She looks so beautiful.
I am never at a loss for words, but I am so nervous right now. I am extremely thankful and grateful to every single one of you. There has,
That's what it's all about.
some of you know my story, but there have been so many heavy things that have happened to me in my life. And I was in such a dark place when my kids created this Twitch account to give me something to do. And this stream gave me life. I had literally given up until I came to Twitch and I started finding you guys in the chat. And you encouraged me to start a stream that I thought nobody would ever watch. And but you all have been there. You all have supported me. Thank you to Tommy Michelle for being the first one to bring a whole entire community over to support me. And they pushed me all the way through Partner. And I've already said our Will Neff, who means so much to me. Thank you to my daughter here, Tiffany. She made all of this possible, all of the streaming equipment, all of the clothes, every single ride that I needed. Thank you to my son, Manette, who always has my water ready. He cleans 4 pairs of glasses that I have to change because I'm puzzling like 24, 38 hours nonstop without a break. And he has been there. He gets everything set up for me. I know I'm gonna leave so many people out. I'm gonna feel so bad about it, but just know that I love you. I mean, with everything in me, I love you. And I thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you so much.
Y'all. That's what I mean when I say this is what it's all about, you know? And I wish people who don't have this attitude that Gma has, I wish that they would take that in for a moment, evaluate their behavior after yet another streamer awards. Usually the same people causing issues, where when at the end of the day, you like getting to do something like this as a career and forming a community and all the opportunities that can come from it. A lot of people will say that they're grateful and they don't take it for granted, but I don't think that they actually feel that way. And that's why like Gma expressing her genuine gratitude, that shit hits because that's real. And because she turned to Twitch as a lifeline, as like just something, you know, a life vest to keep her afloat with all of what was happening in her life. And she started streaming and then attracted people to her community. And that is such an amazing thing. Like being able to make a community on a platform like this is incredible. Not to mention she's given so much. Yeah, I mean, she's always raising money, always doing what she can to help other people. But she truly looks at this as a blessing. And that's just, that's something, that's an attitude that I wish more people had. And that's why I keep saying, like, something such as an award show, you have no entitlement here. You have no right to anything here. This is a privilege. This is a gift. So what the fuck is your problem? Get it together. All right? Get it together. I also want to watch, okay, I'm very sad I didn't get a pic with Gma because I meant to get a picture with her at the end of the night. I did come up to her. I did come up to her at one point to give her a hug. This was before she had won. Give her a hug. Tell her she looked amazing. You know, just chat with her a little bit. They look so good. Two gorgeous girls. And after I wanted to get a picture, but I had to go home. Farley had escaped, and then I went home to let him out. And then I came back, to the after party, and I was looking for Gma, but I think either she didn't go or she had left by that point. But now, in Farley's defense, as I was leaving, I did tell him, if Mother's dresses arrive, you need to bring these to the show. It's like you need to get in the car and you need to speed on the highway and bring these dresses to Mother, because I wrote this in the Discord. But what happened was my dress. So I ordered 5 dresses, and I was like, one of these is going to work. It was supposed to come Friday. It did not come Friday. And Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, I got a notification that my dresses were out for delivery. And I couldn't contact the company, so I had no way of knowing when they arrived, but it just said out for delivery. So I did my hair and makeup, and I was waiting and waiting. I'm like, please, I know it's going to come. I know right as I'm going to leave, the dresses are going to come. So I held on as long as I could. And then finally I went, all right, I got to go. As soon as I got to the show, straight up, I got a notification that it was delivered. So my streamer awards look cost $0 because I did my hair myself, I did my makeup, and I just pulled a dress from my closet. Weren't you and Peach going to go shopping? Oh, we did go shopping, but I bought a pantsuit that I wore to Iron Lung. We went out shopping because I was like, no. I think the dresses are going to come. It'll be fine. They'll surely arrive in time. Can you show us the dresses? Well, it's in the box, and I'm probably not even going to take it out of the box. I'm just going to drop it off and have it be returned. You look so pretty, though. Thank you. Always good to reuse and recycle. For sure. Yeah, for sure. How'd you like Iron Lung, by the way? Oh, dude. Okay. Let me speak briefly on Iron Lung. Shouts out to Markiplier. I told him afterwards, I finally met him, and I was like, dude, I just think it's awesome that you have gone beyond just being a content creator. I don't mean just being a content creator. I mean, Mark is a guy who amassed a ton of success and resources and had ideas for creating things outside of just making YouTube videos. And so he played the game Iron Lung, saw that there was potential there. It was a great premise. There was potential there to do an adaptation, like a film adaptation of that game. And I don't even know how he did it, but he edited, he wrote, he produced, he starred. I mean, that guy is a fucking machine. He is a goddamn machine. And it was awesome. Like, the whole premiere was awesome. The special effects, here's a crazy fact. They broke the record for the amount of fake blood used in a film. Does anybody want to venture a guess as to what was number one? What film did Markiplier take the top spot of as far as the use of fake blood? Yes, The Shining. The Shining, with the famous elevator scene. The elevator doors open up and the blood comes gushing out. Shit ton of blood, right? Even more blood was used in Iron Lung. I think Will talked to Amy, Markiplier's wife, and she said they used like 250 gallons. It's something just absurd like that. Anyway, so the last like 20-ish minutes of the film is really when the intense action and effects kicks into gear, and Mark is literally like drowning in blood. He posted pics of his eyes bloodshot from all that fake blood. Yes, there's a lot. So that was cool. I also I met Raul Coley, who is the partner of Alana Pierce, and he's an actor. He's amazing. One of those actors too, who's just politically very based, very outspoken. Had a great conversation with him, and I, of course, as an unpaid, unofficial producer of Fear and, I was like, you should go on Fear and. You should connect with Hassan. Because he's, I think he watches Hassan's streams. I was like, you should connect with Hassan. I think either go on his stream or go on Fear and Will was there. So I was like, let me introduce you. Well, connect with Marsh. Yeah. I was like, let me introduce you to Will. So I introduced him to Will, and I was like, I think you would be great on the pod. This is what I do. This is what I do. And I told Austin and Hassan last night when we were at the show, I was like, okay, I got you guys a great guest. Secret, unofficial. I'm honestly unpaid intern out here. I am unpaid intern. You know, now that I no longer have a podcast, I can't help myself. I simply can't help myself. Hi, Caroline. It's my birthday. I'm so drunk. I wanted to say you and Will are super cool. You seem so nice and genuine and have good politics. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a good one. Girl, you need a podcast where you interview, talk to people in and around film. Girl, I know. I am aware because I meet people like Raul, and I go, this is an awesome person. This is a person who I think is a perfect blend of, you know, being an actor, being in the entertainment industry, but also being politically tapped in and very personable and cool, would make for a great conversation. And I look around and I go, where can I place this person? I go, you want to go on Fear and? As a Fear and viewer, I thank you for your unsung contributions to the pod. Well, I can't stop myself. I'd love to see you do an interview with this film artist, Carlo T. She's great politics, is very anti-AI. I will look her up. I'm so giving. I'm just so generous in that way. Even Alana would be a great guest for Fear and Alana would be awesome too. I want to do stuff with Alana. I want to collab with Alana. Alana is rad. She's super dope too. They're great. Those two are great. Wait, what is this from? What is this? Oh my God. Get a job. Stay away from him. Get a job and stay away from him. Nandre, yes. This is truly like, wait, who's got that pic? Who's got that pic? Who's got the pic of, the one shot from not Insidious? Wait, I always confuse. No. Wait. You know what I'm talking about? Insidious. Yes. Yes. Wait, I got it. Hold on. Hold. This one. Oh my God. Corporate wants you to find the difference in these two. There's none. They're the same picture. This is the same picture. Quentin Tarantino is a literal demon haunting Paul Dano. Also, another person who I've always loved, Patrick Wilson. I love this man. First time I saw that in the movie, I lost it. This is one of those horror movie moments that always has stayed with me. Like, I don't overall care for the Insidious franchise. I think the first Insidious is good, and then it just gets franchisey. But this moment here is, whew. Okay, anywho, so what else can I say? I want to get to film soon. Also, anyone want to guess what we're watching? Should not be hard. Promises made, promises kept. Even though I'm tie-tie, I'm cooked after yesterday, we're still here because I did say you don't have to wait 9 years, but you do have to wait a week. Yes, we are going to watch the second film in the Before trilogy. I promised after we watched Before Sunrise, I said, if you can wait a week, we will watch Before Sunset. And as I said, this is actually my favorite film in the trilogy. As much as I love Before Sunrise, and I think it is just about a perfect film, I love Before Sunset even more. So I think it's the perfect film for us to watch this evening. My sis also said the second film is the best. I think a lot of people who are fans of the trilogy share the same feeling on the second film being their favorite. Also, as someone in my 30s, as a person in their 30s, there's something about the second film where it's 9 years later. It's the sequel. Something about the second film where now they are also in their 30s that I just feel it. I just feel it. I cheated. I watched the others after our last film class. I'm sorry. It's okay. I knew there were going to be people who couldn't resist. I knew that they couldn't wait 9 years, let alone a week. Wait, so it's not 6 months later? We'll see. But anyway, if you missed last film class, and also it's not spoilers. It's literally you Google before sunset. It's the log line. It's the log line. But if you missed last film class when we did Before Sunrise, this is a trilogy by Richard Linklater. I think it's one of the best in the category of romance drama, but mostly romance. And it is a trilogy that started in 1995, was the first film. Second film, 2004. Third film, 2013. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine if you didn't watch the first one. I'll give a little bit. I'll give a little background, a little just context right before we watch, so you know if you missed the first one. Mommy, no, you don't need to. You should at some point go watch the first film, but there's actually quite a few people who I think their introduction to the Before trilogy was actually the second film. And so they watched it and were like, oh my God, I got to go watch Before Sunrise now. So it's one of those that I do think that you should, for the, I don't know, I guess most how it was intentioned, how the trilogy was intentioned, you should watch from the beginning, but it's totally fine if you haven't watched the first one. I'm going to watch this again when I'm in my 30s and wonder how I'll feel then. I feel like I have such a similar experience to when I rewatched Boyhood as an early 20-year-old. Yes, that happens with films. You watch at different points in your life and it just hits different, you know? Okay, so I want to start that soon, but... Oh, wait, what was this? What was this clip? Let me see.
Bass Clan.
Wait. HoloLive is the Japanese VTuber agency. This is the category of best content org. This is not HoloLive. This is Brox, and I think wasn't he nominated for Hidden Gem? So I think they accidentally put his photo still, because that was the category before this one. I think they just clearly fucked up and had his photo for HoloGem. And listen to John breaking. This was Andre's laugh.
Bass Clan.
Okay, I know this is a major production fuck up, but this is so fucking funny. This is so fucking funny. The element of like John breaking, but going, all right, I'm reading it as is. Nandre's iconic laugh, just having a roll with this. Holy shit. I know it's not funny because the amount of money that show cost, production should not have been fucking up like this, but also this is very funny. If maybe some of the other fuck ups hadn't happened. No, this is still such gold. It's so funny. It's so funny. Wait, the streamer awards set me up. Hold on. God, I hate that. Okay.
Hello live. Tim the Tat Man by Ty Dolla Sign. I'm John Choi. Why is that in the script? And you're watching the Streamer Awards.
I know. I hope Cutie could get some refunds if that's possible. I do hope she gets some refunds. Holy shit. John is the funniest person to have in this position as the narrator, voice of God, dealing with these fuck ups. He's the best person. The best person to be in this position. Now, okay, as far I will say, did you see what Prezzo asked Lacey? Yeah, didn't he ask him like, do you know I'm gay or something like that? As far as the camera showing the wrong person, I do want to say the reason Cutie and then also Maya emphasized streamers, please stay in your seats, in your assigned seats, is because they have everything preset for those moments. So production, they don't know who any of these streamers are. So like with Jack and Cinna, the father-daughter cam was because I think the seats had been switched. So her dad was sitting to her left, Jack was sitting to her right. And then, so there were a couple moments where the camera was not on the right person or the right people, but that did have to do with the people switching seats. Why did they keep going to Prezzo's seat? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not here to defend production. But I know that the reason Cutie emphasized in the invite and then at the show, streamers, please stay in your assigned seats, was because of the either planned bits that they had or because they have the entire production, they have it all mapped out. So they'll be like, okay, you're going to cut to seat 5, table 20 at this moment. And people, they're just following the script, Showing Emmy for Double Lift's fiance. Yeah. So there were a lot of those moments, but I think as far as productions fuck ups, I wouldn't necessarily count that as productions fuck up. Like that is having to do with seat switching. And again, I'm not here to defend productions. Brock said, I am Hololive. I am the Japanese VTuber agency. Someone showed they were in their own seat, but they still didn't get the camera right. Then that's obviously a production's fuck up. But there were definitely ones that happened because of the seat switching. I am Hololive. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, Cubes, thank you for the tier 1. Genesee, thank you for the prime. Bricky, thank you for the prime. Alita, thank you for the gifted. Warfine, thank you for the 2 months. Emar, thank you for the 5 months. Schmeggy, thank you for the 6 months. June, thank you for the 12. Dank Techno, thank you for the gifted. Did you see this before you move on? Yeah, we just looked at that. I just also want to say women are so beautiful. I'm not going to go through all the fits. I do have to mention Valkyrie's. Oh my fucking God. But just women in general. Women in general. There's too many. There's too many to mention. They're so beautiful. Every year, it's just seeing how beautiful the women look. Cinna's, I can't believe she did her hair and makeup on stream. Unreal. Ray's was sickening. Sickening. Sick. It made me sick. She should have been on camera. There should have been a camera just on that outfit. There was not enough screen time. Yeah, so the women just were so beautiful. Bonnie made her outfit unreal. Vanilla. Yes, and when we were at Iron Lung, I will say I did get a sneak peek at some of the ladies' fits. Because people were pulling up pictures on their phone and they're like, what are you wearing? I go, well, my dress hasn't come in yet, but it will. It will. Reader, no, it did not. No, it did not. Valka, here's Ray's. I just have to show. If you didn't see it, holy fuck. Holy fuck. So no. Bonnie didn't make this. No. Bonnie made her own outfit. Yeah, I love, I'm trying to, there's too many beautiful women. That's why I just have to be like, in general, my takeaway from Streamer Words Fashion yet again is I love women. Women. Cutie had I didn't know she dyed her hair because I didn't get to talk to her afterwards, but I didn't know if Cutie dyed her hair, but she coming out as Dark Cutie. Oh. Whoo. Dark Cutie was unexpected, but a slay. And then Sidion, so beautiful. Sidion is a person who makes me just want to scream. She is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Yeah, I already mentioned Sam when she presented her award. You know what? I felt so good because Sam felt real good. And I was like, you should feel good. But yeah, just lots of Peach and Sear, of course. Best duo showed up as Fifth Element. I think there were maybe 3 people total who knew Fifth Element. Here, I'll show you guys Bonnie's fits, and she made this herself, which is crazy. What the?
You look amazing.
Oh wait, here we go. Hold on.
I'm kind of nervous because usually I skip the red carpet, but I felt like I had to do it because I made the dress.
Wait, you made this?
Yes, I did.
Please welcome Bonnie.
Hi guys. I'm honored that Cutie asked me to present this next award. I added a cape to my dress tonight to make me look more heroic, but this next category of creators don't need capes to be heroes. The nominees for
the beauty, the talent. If I try to make my own dress, I simply wouldn't. I simply would not. Yeah, I really loved Emmys. Sakura and Asta, I have to message them again and ask where they got their dresses because loved them. Maya looked beautiful. You guys, seriously, I can't even individually shout out because it's how it is every year, which is the women are so amazing. Amazing. Like even women who are there as a +1, like they're not even streamers. They're not even like gonna be on the red carpet, gonna be presenting an award. Just women. Just women. Squeaks looked great. You know what? Shouts out to my man Squeaks. Also, did you guys notice that Wake ran back Will's outfit from last year because Wake's jacket or something didn't come in time, and so he came over. And I was not home, but I was like, just look through and take whatever. And he ended up taking the huge Game of Thrones Vikings style fur coat that Will had worn to last year's. And what's funny is he thought everybody was going to recognize it and go, oh, didn't Will wear that last year? Apparently nobody clocked it. Maybe a couple people did, but it was like the coat on Wake, the coat on Wake, it was a brand new outfit. He became Will Neff in the end. He did. Wake Neff. Thank God. You know what? Thank God it's getting some use, because when Will bought that coat for Streamer Awards, I went, first of all, that thing weighs 50 pounds. Where is this going to go? Where is this going? And I went, there's no way that you wear this more than once. So the fact that it's now been worn to 2 streamers, you know what I think should happen? I think somebody every year should wear the coat. I think the coat has to be the sisterhood of the traveling coat, and somebody every year. Here's Wake wearing it. I'll show you.
I don't know. Oh my God, I know who this is. What's up, bro? You good? Wow, you are pimping tonight.
We're trying. Hey, this is courtesy of Will Neff. I do not own Cool Enough clothing, but he helped me out. So,
dude, this is crazy. Are you not hot?
I am fucking sweating already.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm gonna get out of here and take this thing right off. It's gonna be so. It's gonna be like taking your socks off. You know what I mean?
But he didn't. He kept it on the whole night. The whole night.
Oh my God! Right when you're taking a shit too, and you take every piece of clothing off.
Okay, I don't know if you're baiting right now, but like that is fire to do that.
No, that's what I do. I take every piece of clothing. I just did it before this. We just did it before this. Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna bite and say that's based. Actually, I think that's a solid. It's a solid play. Wait, will you do that in public though?
Oh no. This is the first time I don't usually shit in public. There's one time I shit in public. It was at my nurse's office back in high school.
We all know who wore it, but who wore it again and slayed harder. Yeah, if you don't know, Wake has the longest hair because he usually wears it up in a bun. It's a special occasion when Wake takes the hair out of the bun. Here's Wake with the queens. With the queens.
Can you do us a big favor and give us your best superhero walk out of here?
Yes.
Are you ready? Do you want us to count you down?
Paul, thank you for 11 months.
Girls?
UB, thank you for 30.
3, 2, 1. Oh!
Flare
in the jacket.
Keeks, thank you for the 14 months. Yakubes, thank you for the tier 1. The queens had this awesome segment of doing the walk-off. So unfortunately what happened by the time I got to Streamer Awards, there was a huge line and it got very backed up. And so at some point, they were like, okay, we just don't have time. We don't have time for everybody to do the carpet, which I was like, that's fine, whatever. So because they had Sketch and KDB, and then they had the drag queens, but the train was just too backed up. Gone Goose, thank you for the prime. So that's why, that's why a lot of people didn't get a chance to go on the carpet. Apparently because of TMZ. I didn't even know TMZ was on the carpet because Austin, when we sit down, he goes, Caroline, guess what I told TMZ? And I was like, TMZ? And I just thought that TMZ randomly stopped Austin on the street. They came up and they were like, are you gamer of the year? Or third runner-up, gamer of the year, Austin show? I didn't know TMZ was actually on the red carpet. And he goes, I told them that I am in love with Lady Gwa, with CarolineKwan. I went, I am so confused. Why did TMZ come up to you? I just really thought it was like Austin's walking to, God knows where, and TMZ intercepts him on the street. And he just goes, I'm in love with CarolineKwan. Where I went, okay, great, love it. Love it, but I don't understand how this happened. But yeah, I guess TMZ was hogging time on the carpet, so it meant that people then just weren't able to, there weren't as many people able to do the red carpet interviews. Did you see Gma walk off with the drag queens?
It's going to be our never saying anyone else is going to win ever again. Also, too, I just have to say, do not be embarrassed about doing a 360. You look absolutely gorgeous today.
Phenomenal. You look gorgeous.
You are what the kids would say, smoking.
Smoking.
Right. No, the kids would say cunt. Yeah, cunt. Can we say you look cunt? Can we say that? Yeah. Okay. So you look cunt. Can you, we're asking everyone to give us their fiercest walk, but in your case, can you give us your cuntiest walk out of here?
Yeah.
Do you want us to give you a countdown? Okay.
Your favorite song is playing in your head.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
We don't know. It's in your head. The Penny Pablo song. Freak a Leak.
Oh.
Okay. Are you ready? We're going to count you down again. Freak a Leak is playing. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, Freak a Leak. Can I get it from the front? Okay. Can I get it from the back? Can you break it down like that? Okay, I like her.
Oh, y'all, see, that's the energy right there. That's that good energy. We love to see it. I was at Ralph's the other day and Austin was just in the self-checkout saying he loves CarolineKwan. Yes, he was telling anybody who would listen. Tells the cashier, I'm in love with CarolineKwan. There was a part of me that wondered when they were doing, when they were doing the relationship cam where they had like boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, of course, vanilla, father, daughter. When it showed on Cinna and Jack, first of all, I didn't know that was a fuck up. I thought that they were just doing a bit where they were showing people who aren't actually like that relationship as a funny thing. And part of me was like, oh my God, I wonder if it's going to cut to me and Austin as like husband and wife, because I thought the whole thing I thought the whole bit was they were going to show people in the crowd and label them as whatever relationship. I thought it was because everyone doesn't believe her dad was black. Wait, doesn't everyone know Cinna's dad at this point? I didn't realize it was a fuck up. I didn't think any of them were fuck ups. I thought it was legit bits. Well, that's good. You know? My favorite couple from China. Lady Guan and the toilet god. They made a joke on the red carpet that Senna's dad was actually black. Oh, I just assumed like everyone knows Senna's dad. Lady Guan and the toilet god. Senna said the camera guy really didn't believe I'm half black because how? Camera guy was fighting for his life trying to make the lore make sense. That's fucking funny. Rosie says, weird, he knew I was. Right, but I think a lot of people felt the way I did where they thought it was the bit. I don't know. Assigned white by cameraman. The cameraman was like, no, you're white. Alex, thank you for the 4 months. Con, thank you for the 30 months. Okay. All right. Shall we get to film class? Is it time? Is it time to get to Sunday night's film class? Did you eat din din? I ate a bagel earlier and then I got 2 bagels. So I got one to eat then, and then I got one to eat later. Today's diet is bagels. Okay, y'all. All righty. We are gonna flip over. So if you wanna stick around, then it is now the film class portion of the evening. If you're looking for more streamer awards, recap, commentary, I'm tapped out. I'm tapped out. So there will be lots of people who are still talking about streamer awards. But anyway, so for tonight, we are watching 2004's Before Sunset, and this is the second film in the Before trilogy that is directed by Richard Linklater. And whereas the first film, he and Kim Kreisen, who had been an actress on a couple of his films prior to Before Sunrise, he and Kim Kreisen had written the script. On Before Sunset, this was a collaboration with, in addition to Kim and Richard working on it, also Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, who are the stars of the trilogy. And so the four of them worked on it in a way that was highly collaborative. If somebody didn't like something, then that was all it took to veto it. If just one person in the group said, I don't fuck with this, then no questions asked, they would get rid of it. But the four of them worked to essentially continue the story of Jesse and Celine that began in Before Sunrise. So in the first film, Ethan Hawke plays Jesse, Julie Delpy plays Celine, and they are two strangers who meet on a train. She is French, he is American. He had flown to Spain to visit his girlfriend who had been there doing an art history program. She breaks up with him like 3 days into the trip. Instead of going back, he decides, fuck it, I'm just going to buy a train ticket. My sad little self will just train around in Europe, and then I guess I'll go back. But when he's on this train that's going to Vienna, he meets Celine and he poses a question to her. And the question is, what if you got off this train with me and we spent the day together and then I have to leave, the day ends before sunrise and then I have to leave and return to the United States and you'll go your way and that'll be that. So the first film is these two meeting each other and then spending an evening walking around in Vienna and having conversations about life, about love, about relationships, philosophical, religious, the whole shebang. And at the end of the film, and I'm like, okay, if you don't want spoilers, but if you're going to watch the second film, you don't watch the first film. At the end of the film, they decide right before they part that they don't want to not see each other again. What they had decided prior, they are like, no. I need to see you again. What if we just did it? So they agree 6 months from now, or from the night before. 6 months from the night before, let's meet back here. And we're not gonna keep in touch. We're not gonna exchange phone numbers. We're not gonna do that. We're just, if we decide to, we're gonna meet here. December 16th. Yes. And so that is how the film ends. He goes on his way, she goes on her way, and there is this, there's this promise. There's this idea that they're going to see each other again. And so now we are going to be watching the second film that is called Before Sunset. And this premiered at the Berlin International Film Festival in February of 2004. The total gross of this film was $15 million. It was widely critically acclaimed. It was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay at the 2005 Oscars, but it did not win. Does anybody know, without looking it up, do I have any Oscar nerds who know which film beat Before Sunset in the adapted screenplay category in 2005? It's not Crash. It's not Crash. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Here's your hint. Are you chewing gum? Yep. You got it. The film that beat Before Sunset at the 2005 Oscars was Alexander Payne's Sideways, which it's hard because when I was going back to remember, I was like, I can't remember who was in that category. And I saw Sideways. I was like, oh, that's so tough. That's really tough. That's tough. And I fucking love Sideways. But the other films in that category, it was Sideways, Before Sunset, Finding Neverland, $1 Million Baby, and The Motorcycle Diaries. I do think if Sideways had not come out that year, I think it would have been Before Sunset's easy. But anyway, so the film was a success commercially, critically, and it's one of those films that a lot of publications have it listed as on the best films of the year, some calling it best film of the decade. And people who maybe missed out on Before Sunrise but saw Before Sunset and were like, holy shit, this is incredible, then went back, watched the first one, and then had to wait 9 more years for the third film in the trilogy. So they knew the pain that Before Sunrise cultists had felt for the past 9 years of having to wait for the second film to come out people who watched Before Sunset, fell in love with it, fell in love with the characters, then watched Before Sunrise, had to wait 9 years for the final. Waiting 1 week felt like 9 years. You know what? In today's terms, 1 week is 9 years. I thought Midnight was never going to get made. I remember the excitement. Well, interestingly, the vision that Linklater and also Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy had for Before Sunset was much bigger than what the film ended up being. Due to budget issues, being unable to secure the funding that they needed for how they had initially envisioned the film, they had to really pare it down. And so the film takes place in Paris, so single location. And it also, what's very unique about it is that it's happening in real time. So by that, I mean the length of time. This is not spoilers. You guys, this is not spoilers. Anyway, so it adds to the authenticity, the realness of the film. It's fascinating. And it also has more one shots in the film, which makes it more difficult too for the performers, because the film is so, like Before Sunrise, the film is so heavy on dialogue and it's just them. So because it's improv, even though it seems like improv because it just feels like improv, they are memorizing a shit ton of dialogue and having these really, really long one shot scenes. And it's just really impressive. So good. So just keep that in mind as you're watching it and you'll be like, oh my God, it's absurd. All right. Okay. So let's pull up our movie rules. You can go to the bathroom, get a snacky poo, get a drinky poo, get a blanky poo, whatever you need. Maybe poo. Gotta go take a shit. You have 3 minutes and 44 seconds to do so. Taco Ninja Dragon, thank you for the prime. Brianna, thank you for the 3 months. Something to eat.
You can't beat my meat for a special treat. Sucking on me is really neat.
Don't be a jerk and don't be a fool. Be a good neighbor and follow these rules. What are these rules? Remember to keep your shoes on at all times. Don't pull your penis out unless you really need to. Indecent exposure is a class 2 felony.
Don't talk once. Don't talk once. You may be a wasn't. Don't let it work out. We still have motherfucking money. And not get caught in all the seats in front of you while sitting there. I am everywhere at once. I will cut you off if you make out. Yeah, welcome to the set on fire.
Wait, what happened? Chat broke for a second because everyone went to go take a shit. That's why it broke. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, everybody. I'm Ben. Thank you for the prime. Danny, thank you for the 13-month Scalador. Thank you for the gifted. Okay, I am almost ready here. Okay. Turn these off. All right. I am very excited to show you the second film in the Before trilogy. And as I said, this is my favorite film in the trilogy. As much as I love the first one, I think this one's even better. And I'm very excited to watch it with you all. Elena, thank you for the 23 months. So I think I gave you enough context of the first film to understand the second one. Don't worry if you haven't seen the first one. You can still you can still join in. You're gonna get it. I promise you it'll be fine. I promise you'll be fine. You got to take a pick of the best romance movies of the 2000s. I mean, it's tough because I've got this one, but then also In the Mood for Love, which I am obsessed with. That came out in 2000. TLDR, they met, they said, see you in 6 months. And then now here we go. And then that's it. That's the end. Holy shit. That's it. She just goes, baby, as Nina Simone, baby, you're going to miss that plane. And he goes, I know. Oh my God. Yeah, it's quick. It's an hour, 20 minutes. And it's literally, as I explain, the film feels even more real because what's happening in the film is like the length of time that these two are together. And it's the pressure cooker of this fucking flight of like, oh, right when he sees her is when he's supposed to leave for the airport in an hour, 20 minutes. And then as the film goes on, as that clock starts to run out, the driver's just waiting there. As the clock starts to run out and you're just wondering, you're like, how is this gonna, is he gonna get off this fucking flight? And there's no, this film has no sex. There's no kissing. There's nothing. And yet the tension and what's said, but also what's not said. And the part that always makes me start crying. And let me just say too, y'all, okay, this is film class. So as your self-appointed film teacher, I understand that for some of y'all in here, you're newer to film. I so appreciate you being here for these nights. So it is my duty. It is my job to explain a couple things. As a film viewer, I need you to release yourself, free yourself from the idea that everything you watch on screen needs to be it is like a moral, it's like needs to be moralized. It does not. It should not. Especially with a film like this, which is so fucking real. This is how humans are. It's messy. It's imperfect. They're flawed. The message of the story is not, you should always cheat on your partner and cheating is great. That's not what it is. And I need you to free yourselves from analyzing film in this regard, because it's going to make it impossible to just experience it and to feel in the way you should feel, because you'll be too uncomfortable, but not like uncomfortable in an okay way. Like, yes, you feel uncomfortable because it feels so real, but uncomfortable in a way where you just like can't allow yourself to enjoy a film like this, because you're like, but these characters are supposed to be perfect imitations of human beings. Well, guess what? That would make it really phony. If you watched a film where characters behaved in this morally perfect way, it would be a terrible film. It would be boring. You wouldn't like it. That's not what we want, because that's not how people are. I also think it makes you less empathetic. I've had friends who don't leave relationships they're not happy with. That's a real life. Just like my friend, there are reasons that he's not left his wife despite being unhappy. Yes, I also agree that when you come in immediately judging characters because they're doing things that people do all the time, that they're feeling things that people feel all the time, you are not just limiting yourself as you're not just limiting yourself as like a student of film, as like a purveyor of film. You're also losing your ability to find empathy, which is one thing that film can really create within you. Art is not a moral doctrine, no. And genuinely, like, I hope that if you, and maybe you left, maybe you're not even here, but if you spent that whole hour and 20 minutes upset about the fact that Jessie is married with a kid and that she has a boyfriend who even knows if she has the boyfriend or if she just said that, but whatever. I think the main concern I saw some chatters having is that Jessie's married with the kid. I want you, after me saying this, I want you for homework to go back and watch that film and not come in with this judgment, not prevent yourself from like connecting, from feeling empathy, from like relating maybe, because you were so hung up on the fact that like he's married with a child. This film is not interested nor intending on making any statements about like the morality of cheating. Okay. If it makes you uncomfortable, it's because because this is like real, because I think maybe there's a part of you that either you've felt similar feelings. Maybe there's, your parents had a marriage that was like, they're not in love. They're together because they felt like that's what they needed to do. Maybe it's because they had kids and these are two people who shouldn't have been together, but stayed together. Whatever it is in your life that maybe there is a part of you that was relating to this, but it felt uncomfortable because it felt so real. I think you should, instead of running away from that, you embrace that. I loved the gentle unraveling of the deep angst that these two carry and how they both have internalized their former meetings so deeply. Now that they're together again, how could they ever turn away? Yeah, okay, so now let's talk about the film. Now let's talk about it. Okay, so the part that always makes me cry, like I just start crying and I know it's going to carry through to the end, is when they're in the car. This is where it starts for me. It's when they're in the car and he's dropping her off and she starts ranting and she reveals the fact that, like, yes, I know we had sex and I pretended that I didn't remember that. And then she just goes into this word vomit about how she feels like that was a once in a lifetime thing and how it's affected her view on relationships and romance, and how at the same time, though, like at the same time, she doesn't let herself, she runs away from even when she's in a relationship, and it's because she feels dead inside, but this feeling dead inside without feeling like without maybe even giving anyone else a chance because of this feelings that she had when she was in her 20s, that one night in Vienna, and just all the things you do as a complex, complicated human being. And he's watching her through it all, and he's just listening. So much of the film is him watching her and soaking her all up, and her doing most of the talking. So it starts there. And then when they're in her apartment and she's playing that song, and obviously it's like he wrote the book, she wrote this song, and he's watching her, and there's something about his face watching her singing this wistful song, this nostalgic, sad song where he looks like he wants to cry. Have you seen Past Lives? Oh, fucking love that movie. Sobbed. He looks like he's trying not to cry when he's looking at her, where he's like, you just see that he's so happy because he's with her again and never thought he would see her again, but deeply sad because 9 years had gone by, because his life went in a totally different direction and so did hers. And also, there's just so much going on that he's experiencing. And it's like he wants to cry because he's both happy and filled with regret, but it feels this yearning that never went away. And then also probably feels like so lucky that they had this encounter and it was what he had dreamed of, but now it's actually happening, and it probably feels so surreal too. It's an emotional salad. Yes. Yeah. And then she's doing her little like Nina Simone impression, and he's just watching her. And I feel like we're seeing through his eyes, and it's almost like he's seeing what the last 9 years could have been without knowing for sure, because they went their separate lives. But he's like seeing her in the kitchen and just how immediately comfortable they are with each other, and just her doing her little impression and him having his tea, and how it's like, could this have been every night for the last 9 years? And instead he ended up in a marriage that he shouldn't have been in, but is the reality of a lot of people's marriages. And it's a marriage of not love, but the idea of what a marriage should be, of what life is supposed to be. It's a marriage of like, we were pregnant, and so I guess this is the responsible thing to do. I guess this is my obligation. It's a marriage of obligation. Yeah. And it's just, that is something that, look, like I said, this film is not about moralizing on the topic of cheating. And it's not saying to you like, hey, you should absolutely cheat on your partner. That's not what this is about. And yet, I think the reality of how many people end up in a relationship, in a marriage, where once you have kids, especially, you just kind of feel like that's it, that's all. And even when your relationship reveals itself to not be one that actually should exist, should continue existing, that there really isn't love and genuine connection, but because of the pressures of life and because something that happens as we get older is we look at our circumstances and go, I guess that's it, right? Because the reality of the alternative of something else, something different, is both exhilarating but also terrifying. And a lot of people don't know how to, or don't even consider something other than what their reality is. The movie also isn't telling you to be okay with your partner or people in your life cheating. It's not about that. Right. Like this film at the end of the day, like the first film and like the third film, is about these two people who, due to happenstance, random chance, met each other and connected very deeply. And then life happens. There's a third. This is a trilogy. And then life happens, and it's all of that. It's everything that happens in between too. It's the magic of meeting somebody like that. And then it's the reality of our choices and of just the decisions we make or we don't make. And a lot of times it's like we accept the way our life is going, even if we feel like we're in a rut, even if it's like, I'm not very happy, but this is just how it goes. We accept that. And yet, if we're lucky enough to have those moments that feel magical and like that time kind of stops, simultaneously, you live in that memory, but that memory is painful. And I think we see that shown in both Jesse and Celine. And then we also like, it's the thing of, do I want to keep the magic even when it's painful? Because what if that was the path I was supposed to go on? What if that was the decision I was supposed to make? But now what if I do that and it doesn't work out? Like, what if I do take this chance? What if I do? And whether it's like, whether it's a romantic relationship or it's something else in life, where I think that's something we all experience. It is those what ifs, and it is is it better to just like, let's say you visit some city and you fall in love with it and you're there for just a weekend, and then you go back to where you're from and years pass, but you're always still thinking about that place. You're like, what if I had moved there? What if I had started a whole life there? You go, but what if I had, and then it didn't work out? And then I wouldn't have that magical feeling still when I think about that, when I have that nostalgia that's not tainted by then the reality of having lived that. I don't know if any of this makes sense what I'm saying, but it's all stuff I feel when I watch this trilogy. They have so many good lines about the after of a love affair in the car. She spoke to that experience of feeling like you poured into someone. They took those things from you when they go. It's so real. Yes, it's so real. There's just so much. And that's why, too, as a 30-something-year-old, this film hits different in a way when I first saw it in my 20s. But I also think that you don't have to be Gen X. You don't have to be the age that they are in this film to like have it resonate so deeply, to relate to this in some way. And I think when I look at Before Sunrise and then I look at Before Sunset, and the fact that these films were 9 years apart and that it's the same actors, but they both return for the, so it's the same actors and they return for this film, and the time has actually passed, and you can see them in the beginning of this film where you go, oh, I see how life has done what life does, and they've aged, and yet there's flashes of them when they were in their 20s and they met for the first time, and they're walking around Vienna and they just feel like this, they feel that like young person, even though 30s, you're still young, but that like 20 something, just hopefulness and naivete. And yet you can still see that there in them. Like you can see that 23-year-old, 24-year-old, even though they're now 32, in the same way that, you know, another 9 years goes by and we get older and we change in ways, but also we don't, you know, in some regards, we just, I think he has a line where he says, my problems are deeper, but I'm better equipped at handling them. And I think something about getting older is you have more self-awareness, and you can kind of like, you can feel so deeply, but then you have like the more emotional mature, you're just more mature to go, okay, that's not true. Or like, oh, I'm just in my feelings, where she would go off on a rant and then kind of go, well, that's not true. You know, where in her 20s, she probably would have just lived in that. But in her 30s, she's like seeing herself, and her just having lived with herself longer and having just more experience and more maturity, kind of being able to wrestle with herself in that way, where she goes, okay, I felt that, and that's why I expressed that, but also that's not necessarily true. And just recognizing the contradictions within yourself and the complexities, and how you see the patterns in your behavior, and you see the things that you fall back on, and you can recognize it better. And again, it's just because too, you've lived with yourself longer. When you're 32, you've been with yourself for 32 years versus when you're 22, you've been with yourself for 22 years. That's 10 years longer that you know you. And that part, I think, as a 30-something, is just that's those little moments that when I was in my 20s, I didn't pick up on it as much, but in my 30s now, I see those moments in the film and I go, oh my God, I know yes, I know what this, like, I see that, I feel that, I get that. These films are so wonderful in conversation with each other. The idealists who think they're nihilists, that they grow older and look back with such fineness on their simpler selves. These characters are fully them and shine through, but now are also shadows selves. Yeah, and it's like, There is always I think there's also a grass is greener mentality, and there's this, when you're older, I think there's an inevitable nostalgia that you have, and it kind of can taint your memories. And you can also, every time you recall a memory, it changes, right? Like your brain works in that way. So it's not fully, it's not exactly as it was. And I think you get older and you can appreciate, you can appreciate things that maybe you couldn't appreciate in your 20s, but at the same time, you long for that kind of naivete, but also hard-headedness that can be, that's representative of just that kind of age, that period of time in your life. So when you're there, when you're actually that age, it's like you can't appreciate certain things. You can't see things a certain way because you just haven't experienced yet. You know, you don't have the I'm older now and looking back. And that's just a part of, and that's a part of aging. But I think what happens too is that people get older and they start to look back on these crossroads in their life. And they think about the moments where they didn't have to make a decision, or they didn't make a decision. And that's where those what ifs start happening. And I think that's a normal part of life. But I also think sometimes, like in the case of Jesse and Celine, I think they realize as they've gotten older and as they have experienced more of life. He got married, he had a kid, she's been in other relationships, they're successful in their careers. They realize that connection they had was really profound. And maybe if they had gone the rest of their lives and never seen each other again, that's it. That's all. It's just a memory. And yet in the film, they see each other. 9 years have passed and they see each other. And so it's no longer I'll never see this person again, so all I have is my memory of that one night, of that time we had. But it's okay, now we're here again. And I think both of them, through the hour and 20 minutes, you can see them. There's just so much going on. There's so much going on, which is why I can watch this film over and over again. Not just in like falling back into step again and clearly having so much chemistry and being so comfortable with each other, but also things not being said. Also kind of playing this little game almost of like, okay, who's going to be the first to like, who's going to be the first to say it? Who's, they're looking to each other. They're doing this dance. And I think they're also both thinking, like, if I were to go into their bodies and into their very beings, I think they're looking at each other and going, oh, well, maybe we would have hated each other. I wouldn't have gotten along. And so it's okay that we didn't have the last 9 years. But then that battling with the fact that they're having such a wonderful time, and the chemistry is there, and they're so attracted to, he's so attracted to her, she's so attracted to him, and internally it's just this battle, because what happens is if they recognize the fact that, hey, I think we're supposed to be together, then it's like, oh my God, the last 9 years, these different roads that we went on, oh my God, like then now it's real and I have to make these decisions. And what happens now if we do decide to take this leap and to try and hold on to that magic, and then maybe it won't be as magical because we'll have more than an hour and 20 minutes and we won't have the 9 years in between. So do you see what I mean? Like, it's so beautifully and depressingly complicated. Also, that detail on like the day of his wedding, he goes, I swear I saw you, and now I know it, it had to have been you. Oh, that detail is it's so haunting. It's so haunting. That was part of the first film, wasn't it? Since they initially talked because the old couple that was arguing kind of hated each other. Yes. The fact that this couple is fighting on the train, this old couple, and he sits down next to her and he's like, hey, or she sits down next to him and they start talking, and it's about the couple that's fighting. And just the kind of that being how the film starts off. And I think in the second film, they're probably younger still than the couple on the train, but but 9 years after the second film, there is a third film. How far apart did you see these two movies originally? I watched them back to back. And Will and I watched it together. And when we finished the second film, both of us were sobbing. And we both agreed that it was, as much as we had loved the first, there's something about the second that's so devastating and so beautifully melancholic, and just it has that youth and wistfulness that's so much of the first, but it also has the, like, now they're older and there's the even deeper yearning and the what if, and just the, I don't know, it just the reality of life hitting you in the face. People were sobbing in the theaters, of course. Of course. I don't know. There's just something about sunset. And the thing too, it's like you look at the lighting in the first film and it's so romantic, right? As they go through the day and it starts to deepen, there's the sun setting and then the night sets, and it's so romantic and feels like the world is wide open. And then in the second film, there's this soft nostalgia, and it's in the, it's early evening. It's before sunset. And there's kind of just this glow where I think it being in the light, I think them being, it's daytime, and there's almost something about how you can't really hide. There's something about that feeling that with the lighting and the time of day, there's that nostalgia feel, but there's also the they can't hide anymore, and they're seeing each other and they're seeing what they maybe missed out on in the last 9 years, and do they want to miss out on more? And it's just it's hitting them in the face in the way that they can't hide. under the cover of night, you know? The scene in the cab. Oh my God. I know. The scene in the cab, man. And they've still never seen that goddamn communist cow play. I need a film that's just those two characters and their play. You feel the time slipping away, but it hasn't reached night yet, right? Like it's still, the sun is still out. There's still time, right? Even though the whole thing with the film, with the trilogy, is that it's this limited amount of time. And so everything feels that much more intense. And, the pressure cooker, especially the second film, he's like, gotta catch my flight in an hour and 20 minutes. And yet the sun hasn't set yet. And I mean that literally and metaphorically, like the sun has not yet set on this chance for them to maybe take that path that they would have taken if her goddamn grandma didn't die. Good point. There's a kind of romantic whimsy in the nighttime. However, in the afternoon, it feels more harsh, less whimsy. Yeah. So I think it's both things where it's not just like how the actual lighting in the film can affect the feeling, but as I said, kind of the metaphor of in the second film, right? Like the sun has not yet set. What's the decision that you're going to make here? And it being in the daytime where it's just, you can't hide from your feelings. Like they are, I think they're forced to confront the connection that they still have and how they feel towards each other and the regret and the longing that they've both felt. And it takes her longer to admit to it, in the ways that like, he's like open book from the moment that the moment he locks eyes on her, you know? And just so much of the film, as I said, is him just soaking her up for all that she is, you know? Kind of an it's a now or never moment. Yeah. Also, I wanted to read this interview with them just to get kind of, you know, some more insight on their thoughts as they made the film. Also, if you missed when we talked about this in the first film, this is not improv. So all of that dialogue that they so beautifully performed is how it was written in the script. So they had to memorize a shit ton of dialogue and they had to deliver it in a way that it feels improvised. It feels like they just ad-libbed it, you know? And that is a testament to the incredible writing and the incredible performing. And also, you know what? Shouts out to the direction. This is a film that I think the writing and the performing really stands out, but shouts out to Richard Linklater's direction, to the editing of it. It's just so, it's a film that's an hour and 20 minutes. And it's the way that it takes place in real time and the way that it incorporates a lot of one shots and just how it's so smooth from start to finish that when it ends, you're like, it's like you're hit by a truck because you're so enthralled. You're with them as they're walking and she goes, let's go this way. As they stop for a moment on a park bench, like you're there the whole time. You feel like you're just a ghost walking with them. And then she goes, you're going to miss that flight, baby. And he goes, I know. And then it ends. And you're like, holy fuck. And what's interesting too is that if you recall, Ethan Hawke was once married to Uma Thurman. And around the time that they were filming Before Sunset, his marriage with Uma Thurman was dissolving. Now, he had an affair with the nanny. Do I think the nanny is the equivalent of Celine in the Jesse and Celine story? No, I don't think so. But just in real life, Ethan Hawke was having an affair with the nanny. He and Uma Thurman separated, then had a divorce. It was one of those like shocking celebrity divorce moments. And that became not, to a T, but that became a part of the film because these two were a part of writing it and they were taking experiences in their lives. And over the last 9 years from when they had made the first film and putting that into Sunset. Also, Man, thank you for the 7 months. Deanie, thank you for the bits. Crazy thing about watching this movie is that my father wrote a book, and in the book he describes a relationship with a French woman she slapped in the car. The slap was because he had to leave for America. These French women. Chartreuse, thank you for the 6 months. Deschamps, thank you for the Prime. Deanie, thank you for the gifted. Neutral, thank you for the tier 1. Tie Guy, thank you for the 13 months. Warwick, thank you for the 9 months. Chewy, thank you for the tier 1. Groovylicious, thank you for the 2 months. Ethan taking method acting to the next level. Yes. Okay. Wait, in fairness, he's still with the nanny. Wait, he is? Maybe that was his Celine then. Oh, I thought they broke up. Wait a second. Was the nanny his what if? Wow, okay. I mean, they've been married since 2008. Never let your wife be in the way of the never let your wife be in the way of the love of your life. Don't let your husband get in the way of finding your soulmate. Okay, interesting. All right. Let me read this. So this is Julie, who plays Celine. Remembering that much dialogue was torture, and it was even worse the longer takes than Before Sunset, which I had suggested doing in real time. I had been going through a bit of a difficult time in the early 2000s, struggling to make films as a director, and I'd had some health issues. But it wasn't directly autobiographical. Like the director, Krzysztof Kiełowski, once told me, you take a seed of truth and you make it a tree. I had thought of the ending where I imitate Nina Simone and I tell Jesse he's going to miss his plane for another film that I had written. I performed it for Richard and he loved it. I wasn't sure I wanted to give it away, but I thought this series is more important than some film of mine I might never do. These films speak to everyone from adolescence to the end of life. They're not just about Generation X. Really young people now even like Before Sunrise because they see their parents in Jesse and Celine. They see their parents, or maybe they go, damn, I wish those were my parents. Damn, if I find out that a parent of mine, if either of my parents had something like this and now they're just in this loveless marriage where they fucking hate each other, it'd be like, hey, maybe y'all should do something different. Oh my, yeah. I wonder how Maya Hawke feels. I wonder how Maya Hawke feels. You see Ethan and I getting older as the series progresses. These films are really a study of time. All I'm saying is she seems to have turned out all right. All I will say is people have affairs all the time. Emotional, physical. People get divorced all the time. People sometimes don't get divorced, and they should. No one is perfect. Relationships are not perfect. Sometimes I genuinely believe that I believe there are instances where two people acting on something that maybe is not morally nice and good is what was needed to force a decision. You know what I mean? Where otherwise people just it's like if you get fired from your job and you go, damn, that sucks, even though I hated my job and I want to try something else, but I'm too afraid to leave. And sometimes getting fired can be the thing that you needed. You know? My mom told us growing up that sometimes women don't marry for love, but for stability and necessity, and this movie made me think of that. You know, the other thing too is like people always say when women cheat, they do so because they need it's the emotional attachment. It's the connection. It's not about sex, and men cheat because of sex. And sure, a lot of men cheat because they're not getting what they need physically. So do women, though. Women will cheat because they're not getting what they need physically. But also this idea that men only cheat for this reason and women cheat for this reason. It's not binary like that. It's not I don't know. I think like I don't like this idea of men only cheating because they want to get laid, because like they have no feelings, because they don't need emotional connection. They just need to get their dick sucked. Where it's like, okay, I think that can be a part of it. The lack of physical affection can be what drives a man or a woman to cheating. But this notion that men only cheat for physical reasons feeds into this social belief that men don't have emotions and that men don't seek connection, you know? The Outlook also still puts the blame of the men cheating back on their partner. Yeah, I think it's maybe if they got maybe if they got laid, then they wouldn't have cheated, where it's like, okay, I think there's probably deeper problems there too. You know, I think there's probably deeper issues than just he's not getting his dick sucked enough. Caroline, do you think if Vienna, Jesse, and Celine left together, they would have stayed together? That longing and yearning and what if is why their connection grew as much. So that's when, about 15, 20 minutes ago, I word vomited for like 5 minutes straight. That's what I was expressing, where there's that magic, right? That magic in the memory of having spent that one evening together. And yet that also, what if we had seen each other again? And now I have even more life experience, and I've dated more people, and I've gotten married, and I have a child, and I look back on that and I go, oh my God, I'll never feel like that again. And that was just like this idealized version of what love should be. But at the same time, because you don't have the reality of then having it not just be one night, and they did get together, and whatever happened, they won't know because that's what never happened. But also maybe her grandma didn't die. She went to Vienna. They met up, and they realized they're so totally in love, and they are together, and she comes to New York, and then they both go to New York, and they live this life. And sure, they have issues, and they're spending more than just one night, and so inevitably you're gonna there's gonna be conflict. But that's also how relationships are, and it doesn't mean that you have to lose the magic, and it doesn't mean that like you can't be so totally in love even if you fight and argue, and it's not perfect all the time, because it's not going to be perfect all the time. That's when you are experiencing reality. So does that answer your exactly? Ugh, so God, I know. I mean, that's why these movies hit. That's why it hits, because of all of that. And you can see, and that's what I was trying to explain, where in the second film, as they're walking through Paris, and they're saying things, but they're also not saying things, and they're also looking at one another. And I think having these flashes of not just 9 years ago, but what could the last 9 years have been? Will said this was the best trilogy, so I watched the first two basically back to back and fell in love. Still need to watch the last. I thought that Will would not like this trilogy, because usually he doesn't like these types of films in the way that I do. He's not an atonement girly. He likes In the Mood for Love, but it's not his favorite Wong Kar-wai film. So doesn't he hate the last one? He does not care. We're not going to talk about the last one right now. He's also not yes, he's normally not a dialogue heavy person. He's like, I need plot. I need stuff happening. When we watched the first and second films, was just hit by a truck. And it's because of how real it feels, without being just totally depressing, because he also hates films that feel just so bleak and depressing. And that's not this. And I think that's also the way that we can look at our lives, is we don't have to just look at it as, damn, it's all bleak and depressing. And we can find, we can find the moments and have the memories that are hopeful and wistful, and it doesn't have to just be summed up as like, well, this all sucks. He did cry and broke back. Oh yeah, no. It's not that he doesn't like dramas, and it's not that he doesn't like films with romance in them. It's just typically I wouldn't think this would be the kind of film he would be into. On paper, it's like two people walk around and talk a bunch. That's not what Brokeback is. Brokeback has a lot more drama. It has a lot more conflict that is not just the natural conflict that arises from two people connecting and getting to know each other, you know? Also, how fast the movie goes by is how it feels when you experience something like that. Something like dinner or drinks at 7, suddenly it's 2 a.m. after your plans for the night expanded. Uh-huh. And the other thing I'll say, too, is if you're so uncomfortable to the point that you can't stand a film like this, or you're like, cheating is bad and that's my takeaway, I do worry for you in real life. And I don't say this to be mean. I promise you, I am not saying this to be a jerk. I worry because I think you're missing out on the human experience. And if you go through life, and I talked about this after we finished the film and right before we got into talking about the actual film, but if you go through life treating every person and every potential connection as this thing that has to be 100% perfect, whatever that means. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not saying, just cheat a little. But this idealized, not even just idealized, but it's like, what? That's not real. That's not real. That's not how people are. That's not how life is. That's not how the world works. And I think what can happen is when you spend too much time on the internet, you can fall into this mindset of everything is binary. There's good, there's bad. And everything has a very clear morality to it. And you put everything in one box or another. And not me, I'm non-binary. Shout out to my NBs. But you know what I mean? Where there's this inability on these social media platforms to like have nuance, for things to be discussed and understood in a way that's not just like casting moral judgment, like it being very definitive of like good versus bad. And there are like, this is the type of thing where if somebody were to tweet out the premise of Before Sunset, the way that people would react on Twitter is in a very binary way, right? Is in a way where they go, oh, these two people cheated? Oh, evil. This is totally evil. No questions asked. Like, there's no ambiguity. There's no there's no understanding of the way that like human beings work, of how life works. There's no gray areas. There's no complexities. There's no like allowing of complexity. Yeah, chat. What if and then people find out his wife was MAGA and they're like, oh, it's okay now. They're like, I wasn't about it before, and then, oh, his wife is MAGA. Okay, actually, it's good again. And then, you find out something else. You're like, okay, wait, actually, no, it's not acceptable. And anyway, even though the story itself tries to explain how a person ends up in that position, it's all overlooked to get to their moral soapbox and start browbeating. It's like a muscle reflex. Yeah, I think you just don't you don't allow yourself to you don't allow yourself to go on the ride when all you can do is place moral judgments in a way that's like prohibitive of engaging with a piece of art. You gotta let it cook. You gotta let it cook. They cheated. It's Jover. Their significant other was Republican. We're so back. They were an Irish Republican. It's so Jover. What is there to engage with if stories have no fucking nuance, complexity, weighted decisions? Like, why do people hate thinking critically? Yeah, the whole like people engage with art because they connect with it. And that's the whole point, Like I said, if everyone is like this perfect person, it's boring. You're not going to engage. You're not going to connect with it. I promise you. I promise this version that you think it should be actually sucks. And it won't be something enjoyable. Okay, here's Ethan Hawke talking about the film. I'd been going through a really hard time with my divorce, so that summer in Paris shooting Before Sunset was extremely healing, reconnecting with Richard and Julie. She and I had done a little cameo as Jesse and Celine in Richard's 2001 animated feature, Waking Life, and we started daydreaming about how we could make another movie together. A little later, Richard turned up to a book signing I was doing in Austin and had a flash of an idea. What if Jessie had written a book about Celine and she turned up to the signing? There's definitely something autobiographical in that opening exchange at the bookshop about using your own life to create art and what the value of that is. You never really find the answers, but there's a healthy healing process that comes from asking certain questions, and I hope the film asks them of me. Okay. And then he just goes on to talk about the rest of the trilogy, but I'm going to skip that for now. I don't know what kind of gray area you believe in. Ethan's character cheated in the second movie. Do you think that that's what we're debating? Do you think we're debating whether or not he actually cheated? I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. Anyway, exciting things are happening. Okay, what exciting things are happening? Oh, yes, it's time. The 25 best films of 2025. One of my favorite videos that I look forward to every year at the end of the year. David Ehrlich, friend of the show, who puts together, usually, actually it'll come out in January, but he puts together his top 25 films of the year. And even if I don't agree with every selection, I still fucking love it. I love it. And he finds these through lines these thematic through lines. And the soundtrack is always great. Did I just get bitten by something? What the fuck? The soundtrack is always great. And he always, in the last couple of years, he's done it to raise money. And last year he raised money for Palestine. So it's for a good cause, and it's always fun. If you can only empathize with flawless human subjects, you're going to miss out on not just a lot of wonderful art, but on meaningful connection with most real people. There's no struggle in empathizing with perfect people, but it's your loss, and you never engage with that struggle. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Okay? Who the fuck out here is a flawless, perfect human being? Who? Tilly Norwood? Guess what? She's AI. It's AI. Oh, me? Ooh, me? Me? And art is boring when that struggle isn't there, when that that connection isn't there, when you don't have empathy, when you can't relate because, I don't know, this version of who you are and who humans are doesn't match reality. I'm telling you, you are losing out. You're doing a disservice to yourself. And that's why I feel, as the self-appointed, self-taught film teacher here, I want you to liberate yourself from that mentality. I want you to liberate yourself because I really do think you are doing a disservice. And I am trying to not my point here isn't just to show you films that I love. My point here is to show you films that maybe you haven't seen, but also to provide my analysis, my commentary, get you to engage with it, not just watch it, but really engage with these films that I choose to show you on film class. And a lot of times, I do want you to feel challenged. I know this is Twitch chat, so I know that these films that I tend to pick are going to challenge a lot of people in here. It is going to be something that they haven't seen before, that maybe I want to expand your horizons. I want you to have more experience in watching and engaging with film. Yes, especially Ginger Dead Man, Titanic 2, Titanic 666, and Breaking Dawn. Absolutely. That's what I had in mind. With the exceptions, when I pick a film for film class, there is always intent to it. You know, it's not just that I right before I go live, I go, oop, this looks good. I put thought into what I want to show my community every Sunday for film class. And sometimes it relates to something going on in my life. Sometimes it is just something that I want people to see. Sometimes it's I don't know, whatever reason, there's always a reason or reasons for each film that I choose to watch her. Even the stuff like Ginger Dead Man and Titanic 666. There's a reason I picked those, and because sometimes it's fun to just watch something so absurd like Titanic 666 and have a silly time, you know? These are my first film classes here, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Never would have found these movies without you. And that's why I love doing film class, even though sometimes chatters can give me a headache, can be really obtuse, and it feels like it's purposeful, can be frustrating. I also love the fact that there's a lot of people in here who I know would only see these films, are only seeing this film because I'm showing it, or like who are excited to be here, whether they're huge film nerds themselves or like you're new on your film journey. And that's why I do this. I keep doing it, and I love doing it because of those reasons, and also because I do believe that I can help to free the chatters who are being silly. They're being silly, and like I said, I'm not just trying to chastise you so you feel bad about yourself, and I'm not just trying to be a jerk. Like, I really want to liberate you from the obstacles. I want to help liberate you, because you have to liberate yourself as well, but from the obstacles you have placed around you that greatly affect, that prohibit your ability to engage with art, your ability to watch movies. I can say firsthand, you've shown me films I then go show other people. Yeah, and like, I don't expect you to like every movie that I show in here, and then that's fine. Like, I don't expect you to connect with every single thing. But I try to show a variety of films. I try to show drama, romance, horror. There's some films I stay away from because I just know, okay, that's it's too much for the general Twitch audience. But I don't expect you to love every film, but I expect you to still, if you decide to watch it, to like still engage with it, and then be able to understand or explain why you don't like, why you didn't connect with it, you know? Because I think it's important not just to be able to know why you love something or like what makes a film great, but why a film didn't work, and what about it that just in your developing your personal tastes, it didn't work for you, you know? Can you give an example of a movie that would be too much? Pretty much, it's not even necessarily a specific film, but there are certain things, certain parameters. If a film is in black and white, cuts down on the audience no matter what. Black and white, it's like people just tune out. Subtitled. If it is a film in a language other than English, people tune the fuck out. Now, it doesn't mean I haven't shown black and white, and it doesn't mean that I haven't shown non-English language films, but I try not to like, I try to not have the majority of films be like that. If the film is like 40 plus years older, so when we start getting into the 70s and earlier decades, people just kind of, they will automatically go, I'm going to skip. So I think you're missing out, but it's how it goes with like a general Twitch audience. So like French New Wave directors, I go, oh, we're watching a Jean-Luc Godard film. I'm gonna lose on audience. Now, that's not a like I will never show films like this, and I think if I did film class more than one night, I would probably show more international films and more like really niche stuff, but I only do film class once a week, and it's a film class that it's more of like, not that we don't watch challenging films, but more of a like 101 film class than it's you're a senior. It's a very it's a very niche class within your major. So because film class is once a week, and because I am kind of trying to do films that are going to okay, bruh. Respectfully, it's difficult to disagree when the chat atmosphere is a bullying pile of straw manning any disagreement. Was anyone really black and white condemning Jesse? Yes, it's Twitch chat. But then it spirals into a condescending lecture about not judging characters, which is what hinders interpretation. It sounds like people are using Jesse and Celine's tragic-ish circumstance to justify anything wrong they've done with thought-terminating euphemism of life is messy. You're typing too many words. You're typing too many words and not making a good point. I'm just going to say too many words and not actually making a good point. Yeah. I think I've explained enough. I think I've explained enough, so I don't need to repeat myself. And there are always going to be people who, no matter how many times I explain, will just be weirdos. So I don't need to explain yet again. And if you're going to go through life and this is the mentality that you have, I don't know what to do for you. Okay. If we need to condemn fictional characters, but fictional characters that very much so are human, and the emotions that they are experiencing are very real and feel authentic, and it's why people so deeply connect with this trilogy, then I don't know, chatter. That's a really horrible way to that's a really horrible way to like engage with art, and I actually don't think you're really engaging at all. Okay. Anywho, final things that we want to say on the film. I just am obsessed with this. I'm just obsessed with this. A second chance, the one who got away, but not this time. It's. I also think it's one of the greatest sequels of all time because it captures the essence and the spirit of the first film, but also goes even emotionally deeper. Introduces an element that can only happen because it's a sequel to a film that is from 9 years earlier and has the same actors returning to play these characters who we've experienced before. And like the film just does it perfectly. I just think it's a perfect film. I do. I really do. Can we watch this amazing art for next movie night? This is fucking Shrek 2. My friends and I spent 3 days in Pennsylvania remaking. Oh, I remember seeing. I swear I saw something on this where like they literally made, or was this Twilight? Did somebody else do that for Twilight where they remade Twilight from just their memory though? Or maybe I made that up. Because this one's the Hunger Games. That's incredible. You mean 50 Shades? No, I swear somebody had done that with Twilight. Okay, if we want to do a little bit of gaming, I gotta get into it now before it gets too late. I can't believe I've already been live for 5 hours. Oh my god. Oh my god. I straight up when I was starting stream, I was like, oh, I'll probably go live, do film, do a little gaming, maybe a 4-hour stream. Somehow I'm already at 5 hours. Time flies when you are witnessing two people who are just so fucking in love and are connecting in a way that genuinely, I want everybody to have connection like that. I want everybody to have, I want everybody to find that, you know, that chemistry, that connection. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me open up Steam. Yeah. And what I'm saying is I want everybody to cheat. That's the takeaway here. Get married, even though you're not in love. And it's a marriage of, wait, what the hell? And it's a marriage of convenience. And then have an affair with the love of your life who you haven't seen in 9 years. Why is... Hold on a second. What the heck is happening? Hunter Chatters just booked flights to France. Okay. Anyway, before we do a little bit of Amanda the Adventurer, just to wrap up film class, that's the end. Yay. As far as before midnight, we will see. I haven't made my decision yet. I haven't decided. I will say, I do think you can just do the 1-2 punch. You know? You can just do the 1-2 punch on it. So I haven't decided on it yet. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed film class. this is just one of what I consider to be the all-time greats. And I don't know. I just really love stuff that makes me feel something. That makes me feel something and makes me feel something real deep. And that's the beauty of films like this, is like, this doesn't have to be your exact life. Nobody has the exact same life. And yet there are things in their discussions and feelings that they experience that I think most of us can relate to. And I think if you don't, it's probably because you're like the chatters in here who just keep going, but cheating bad. Why have you not condemned? Why is your commentary on the film not just cheating is bad and these people are bad because they cheated and nothing else matters and you can't possibly enjoy this film? How dare you root for these people because cheating is bad? Why aren't you condoning cheating? Why aren't you condoning cheating? I'm telling you, those chatters changed it up. If they freed themselves from this prison, they too would find something in that film that they can connect with, that can really hit them, you know? I really believe that. Reminded me of my film analysis classes during university like 10 years ago. Some of my favorite memories of school. Thank you. I condemn Jesse. Everybody condemned Jesse. And the funniest thing too is like people were condemning before anything had even happened. Obviously the film ends and he goes, she goes, "You're going to miss your fight." And he goes, "I know." And it's like, whoo, but nothing in that film, they don't physically cheat in the film. And people were already like, condemn! And obviously some people it was jokes and some people it was not jokes. They were like emotionally, look at them! Look at them! And what he's talking about his marriage and being honest about it. And he even says, but like, she deserves a love that I can't give her. And like, I want her to be happy too. And this is not a happy marriage. Imagine it was set years earlier. He misses the plane and survives 9/11. That's crazy. And then it ends up being that he's Mark Wahlberg. And he's like, man, if I had not missed the plane, it wouldn't have even been surviving 9/11. I would have stopped 9/11. I would have stopped 9/11. Do you have a site that shows all the movies you've done for film class? I think we have it tracked in Letterboxd somewhere. There's exclamation point class. Yes. Anon has them all listed there. Okay. Anyway, you guys, give me one sec. I'll be right back.